All kinds of talk as to why this election took place, why we should have it. It's not because, but it's certainly a just reason, the budget, but it's not because of the budget. It's what you call contempt of Parliament. And it's a sad thing, you know, and I wouldn't talk about that. It's a sad thing. Here we are, one of the greatest nations in the world, and we judged our government as being contempt in Parliament. That is sad. Okay. But you know, I think the people are the judges in the end, and what they forgot was that the people are the judges. You have to tell the truth. You have to give the information to the committees, and the committees report to the House, and I report to you. And in fact, what the British system is that, believe it or not, you run the show. And this is why we are going to the people today. And that's the way it must stay. And when you look at Mr. Harper, and look at even the former Prime Ministers who should be associated with him, some of them are not even working for him, and some are working against him. So, you know, it's kind of a sad time when you see those things happening. I think also when you have, we have the budget. And the three main things in the budget, there's a lot of things that need to happen. And I have to be careful here, friends will give me hell to talk to them. But the truth is, you know, we went through a difficult time financially, and you see the ads they have on the TV about he steady goes. He held the course. He had nothing to do with the course. That's right. Absolutely nothing to do with the course. Just check one thing. What he wanted to do with the banking system in your country. The fact of the matter is he wanted to combine the banks. And if that would have happened, we would have been in with the American banks, and the recession would have been desperate for us. But we did not. I sat with a Prime Minister and a Minister of Finance and said, no, that should not happen. And and I'm sure that Mr. Critchin did not know, or Mr. Merton did not know we were going into recession at this time, but they knew it was wrong. And thank God that that's what we did. Also, we have Gail was on television tonight. I was on for a little bit too. But we disagree a bit. And you know, like, I went to school for a while, but they brought in this new math. And it must be the new math that Gail has. Because the figures that Wayne can explain very clearly to you, they took $97.4 million out of small craft turbers. And then they made a major announcement. The dear soul made a major announcement. They were putting back $72 million. Big announcement. But there was a few details they forgot to mention. The $72 million was over 3 years. And $15 million of the $72 million was taken out of the department. So the fact is, they took $97.4 million out and put $19 million back per year. Looking at what's taken place, you live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world. You're dealing with small craft harbors. It's an economic issue and it's a safety issue. So, and we have a minister that kowtows to what the Prime Minister has to say. You have to be able to, and I can tell you. I mean, I belong to the Liberal Party of Canada, and I sat with Liberal Prime Ministers, but we didn't always agree. You have to fight for your own. And if you do not fight for your own, you lose. And Gail lost. And we lost because she lost, and that is kind of sad. Now, I was down at Beach Point the other day, and it's a small item for the whole of the nation, or for the island, but for Beach Point it's not. I was looking at the lighthouse, but they cut the funding for these lighthouses. We had an act, but what was it called, Wayne? It was the Lighthouse Heritage Act in 2009. And people felt that this was done in order to protect lighthouses. But if you look what's going on, it's not protecting much. Also, they took $15 million out of a code. And I think one of the sad things too is just over in in the claims processing in Monaghan. Small issue, but not a small issue if you're one of the people that are working there. They had about, you know, $40,000 to $45,000 a year salary. They took those jobs away from Montague. But while they were doing that, in the last 4 years, they put 177,000 jobs in the Ottawa-Carleton area. In the last 6 months, they put 47,000 jobs in that area. So that's kind of sad. And I went to meet the minister, and I truly believe the minister wished she could do something. But the trouble is, it's a one-man band. And the head of the one-man band said no, I would guess. And we lose the jobs. But there's been a major reduction over there in the claims processing. I imagine some people around here remember when that came. I think that upset Wayne a bit, but whatever. No, but Wayne agrees too that if you do not stand up for your own area, you end up with nothing. And the fact is that hurt us. That small craft harbor hurt us. And right here we have a release that indicates that if this was done, ladies and gentlemen, about a few hours before the House closed, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans announced that the senior fleet will be allowed to retain up to 5,000 metric tons of fall herring caught during the spring season in an area of the Laurentian Canal and the canal north of the Madeleine Islands. This decision was made based on a limited test fishery that caught 302 tons. The fact of the matter is, they're right on the path of again destroying the herring fishery, and we know how important that is off of Prince Edward Island. If you're even off of the bank on the south side, or if you're fishing on either side, you used to be able to catch your bait. Today you cannot. Now,